And it's going to take some time. Repair bid. Bliss is bidding on jobs at the hub. It'll take a few cycles and some perseverance before one comes in. Okay, but what's the point of renting a capsule, though? I don't get it. Alright, well, let's go down. And I've got a 4, a 2, and a 2. That's pretty bad. And we still need to find Ankita. Not in the farm stacks. No, yep. Greenway. Going green. Oh! Well, okay. I guess I could use this. 100% positive. Ta-da! Alright, but we will roll again for the 2s. Service dock. This is Fang, yep. This is for Rico, but we don't have any spores. I think the Greenway thing that we just did will lead to the spores eventually. The ambergris. Ah! Ankita is away. Amber is docked here at a rickety old jetty, but she's sealed up. A note says, "Sleeper, stay. I'll be ready soon." Okay. And then the wastes. Yep, locked action because we're not doing endure. And then that's that. Okay. Alright, well. Oh, mushroom grows. Aha! 2 grove spores, or girole caps. While the grove mushrooms are dangerously inconsistent, spores provide a chance to gather or study these species in an untouched form. And I can get a +2 on these. So, yeah. And then forage for fungus. You get plus girole caps, or minus condition. The fungus that grow in the deep groves of the Greenway are typically avoided, but those with sharp eyes might find useful fruiting bodies. Okay, so this is how we finally get it. Alright, let's reroll our dice. Hey, nice. Okay. How many spores do I need for the farm stacks? Not that. It's the commune, right? Hyperlapse. I need 3. That's awkward. And I only get 1 girole cap for doing this as well. But I've been meaning to get the mushrooms for ages, so let's do this. Yep. And then this. That +2 on the intuit actions is paying off very nicely. Okay. And since we're here, we might as well wait here. I need to remember to use my stabilizer first. So stabilizer now. Go. End cycle. Okay. Not great, but we can always re-roll. Let's get our last girole cap with the 4. Go. And now we can finally go to Emphis. But before we do that, we'll use one of our 1 dice on this. See? Plus energy. Negative outcome. That's fine. That's the whole point, is that even with a negative outcome, it's a positive outcome overall. Okay. We have our 3 mushroom caps. Emphasis stall. Here we go. Girole fricassee. Girole prep. Emphis is working on gathering the ingredients and preparing the mushrooms. He doesn't like to rush these things. Okay. Well. What else am I going to use stuff for? That's for salvage. Oh, it's here. Lemon Mina. Okay. Let's talk to Lemon Mina. I assume this is not going to lock me into leaving if I do this, because the sidereal horizon isn't arranged yet. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside of the sidereal. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating feedback loop with growing tension. Sorry about that. Like I said last time, there's like a weird like heat cold because it's the summer. And it's not hay fever for pollen, because I don't think there's a specifically high amount of pollen in the air at the moment. But anyway. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she shouts, reaching out to you. "Hug her." She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against your chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. Quite the turnout, huh? Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. I don't think patience is one of these crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems to explode. This isn't good. They'll manage them. I'll have to manage them. Lem looks around nervously. I sure hope so. This is Asta Enghart of the Sealess Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance, and shouts of quiet rapidly follow. I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sendre Sealess for the work you have done on the Sidereal Horizon. Most of the crowd strains to see Asta's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Sandra wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment and belief in the Sealess Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Habitish Association. Unlike most of the core, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the Sidereal Horizon will carry in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Sealess 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sendre Sealess herself. Freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Habitish Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for the draw. I know you've all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Sealess identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Sealess identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Asta starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. No, do not push forward. Lem? You turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina is scared now as the shouts start. Daddy? Someone throws something against the entrance, and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see for the first time Habitish security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. Try to leave. Keep pushing. You gotta go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. It's not happening. Leave alone. No, we can't leave them. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands it's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Asta reading off the ciphers, echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you too. They screwed you, screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. I mean... Wait, what? Drive failed? I thought that was intended. Where is that? Win a sidereal ticket. The draw didn't go your way. In fact, you never had a chance. Yeah, I thought that was the case, but... Ooh. I think that's a forced failure. And which is why you have this other cycle going on, because it's going to be sneak onto the ship. Huh. I was not expecting it to say failed, though. Well, anyway. Okay. So, what now? Sidereal Horizon's gonna take some time. Everything else takes time. Yeah. There's nothing else I can do now. Well, that's not true. I can do spores. Because Feng takes time, building a home takes scrap, exposing Yannick means... Oh, I suppose I could do Yannick stuff. Let's see, where is Yannick stuff? Ah, Lemon Mina's unit. Lem's out. There is a note on the door of the unit. Sleeper, gone to find work. Lem. 3 days. 3 cycles. And then Yannick's ward. Yeah. I would need a better roll than that. So, let's see. Caster's table. Yeah, that's fine. I haven't got any data. Or at least, I'm pretty sure I don't. Yeah, not too much. Okay, well, let's re-roll. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, we'll spend the 4 dice on spores. Oh, but I need 3, don't I? I was going to use the 6 dice on Yannick. Oh, you get 2 as a positive. Okay, got it. Yeah, 2 grow. Yeah, that's fine. So, do this. We have 4 spores. Then, our labs. That in action. And again. And we'll have a spore left over. Rico is grateful for the contribution. Sleeper, you won my heart with each delivery. Thank you. Rico. Sleeper. Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. Why did you get this? What does it say? What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail. A selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps on the specimen jars. Here we have Tricoloma matsutake. Rico brazes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. Am I supposed to understand that? Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colours and numbers. You see, this is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same. That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have and still are affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye. And herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where 2 trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it, the pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake like rotting sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stocks pulled from a spore vault in this complex, she winks. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly and you suddenly realize how much she's enjoying this. So here is our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. But gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I'd never have guessed. I assume you'll set yourself up in the aviary. I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of the conditions, the smell, the taste, the chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Okay. Yeah, so a few more days for Fang. Back to the lab. So, Matsutake samples. The rich and pungent Matsutake caps are Riko's preferred subject of study. Something about their environmental sensitivity. Okay. Girole caps. The pale and delicate girole mushrooms are more abundant than the Matsutake, but Riko says they still help the process. And it all contributes towards fruiting bodies. Riko needs mushrooms grown in the aviary to study. She'll accept girole caps, but Matsutake caps are better. But you don't get a choice on which ones to get, though. Yeah, that's only girole caps. Are you supposed to use the spores for something? Or can you just buy Matsutake? Oh. Unless it's supposed to be this, gathering scrap, but I don't know, I don't think so. Alright, well, we can't do that properly. Or at least I would rather not do that, and I would rather spend my 6 dice on Yannick. Let's check Paz. Export Matsutake. Yeah, I need the Matsutake, I don't want to sell it for stuff anyway. So, Yannick's ward. Let's spend our 6 dice. Here we go. Ta-da! You almost laugh when you see it. The same small recorder stuck to a different wall this time. Written across the fluorescent tape is that familiar word, sleeper. You grab it quickly. Rabia says sorry. Sabine's voice sparks up once again. She said she didn't have time to brief you before setting you up with the old man. I'm sure you've got the play by now. Earn his trust, work the block. Then we need you to get into his office. A pause. It's risky, but obviously you are the only one of us he doesn't already know. Either way, we need to locate the link to S&R. You hear a shout in the background of the recording. Rabia says be careful. Sabine continues. The data suggests there's some relay processing the implant data and sending it to S&R, but we can't lock down its position. Either he's moving it, or it's moving itself, or it's rerouting through the other relays. We can't understand it. Maybe you can find some details on it in his office. Once he trusts you, you should be able to get close enough to get into the office. You'll only get one shot. The recording creaks and whines. That's the final piece of this puzzle to end this. A pause. Good luck, Sleeper. I'm sorry too. Be safe. The recording clicks off, leaving you in silence. You pocket the recorder just in case and walk away. Looks like it's up to you. So, this one, Yannick's office. Critical action. Find the relay. Yannick has asked you to collect his medicine from his office. Now is the only chance to find that S&R relay. But I do not have any dice, so I cannot do that. So yeah, we are stuck for now. Yep. Okay. Let's go to sleep. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I'll spend my 1 dice on the energy in the Greenway, and then we'll figure out what to do after that. Over here. Alright, so... Hyper Commune. Then my 1 dice. Negative outcome, still ++ energy. Okay, Ankita. She's here. You spot Ankita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale, her hair's tangled and clumps of dirt cling to her armor. You both eye each other. Ankita. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly I am. She looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this when all you have shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. It's okay. She nods, then looks up to the stars. I've never... She stops herself. Thank you. Ankita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... She grimaces. Look. She sighs. Can you come with me? It's easier if... If what? Lead on. Ankita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. There is a wind passing through the Greenway, a quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mine has been hard to forget. You realise Ankita is leading you back there, back into the drum at the centre of the stack. You pause, trembling a little at the threshold. She turns. What are you doing? She looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin, the smallest she has ever looked. She places the box down. Follow her in or go back? I mean, I don't think Ankita would betray you, but we'll see. Follow her in. You follow Ankita into the stack through a low tank entering the drum at ground level. It is just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for the glint of a weapon or a shadow among the moss. Ankita stops and you look down. The mossy island at the centre of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place is a mound of dirt, loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's head. I buried them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton and about the sleeper. How long did you know him? Was the sleeper dead? Stay silent. How long did you know him? She takes a moment to respond, and for a moment you think she won't, but then the words come gushing out. He signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for a corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. He joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. He was so cold, disconnected. He always hit his marks. The last few jobs, though, he was different. I noticed that. We'd had a period of extended shore leave on the Eye, and when he came back he was changed. I assumed he had just had too much time off. He was right. I would never have given him the ship mind. I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. This is how we die, alone. She stops, not sure of what to add. It seems like she's reaching for something, but you can't quite get there. You feel that gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips, the moss trembles. You both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it. Life creeping back in, the silence ending. Ankita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open space of the Greenway, to be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but can't. Ankita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo-chits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars. Ugly little things, you think. Take the chits, drop the chits. So, dropping the chits feels better narratively, as in, you know, it's like it wasn't about the money in the first place. It would kind of suck to go through all this and then not get anything out of it, you know? Like, I'm gonna take it. Like, I can use the cryo for something. I'm a sleeper. I need to have stabilizer, so I have a purpose for this. So, take the chits. You take the chits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track and she does not follow. I mean, I didn't want them to, like, leave without saying anything. As you walk up the rise, the wind picks up and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The chits are heavy in your pockets, and you hate them for reminding you of how little of what life is worth. How many chits? 200! And we have upgrades available now. We got an upgrade point. But the point is that I need 3 to make interface or engage actions better. And I'm going to assume that is it. That is all we have to do with Ankita. So, not very satisfying narratively there, but, like I said, better to get something out of it, because that's just a feel-bad story overall. Okay, so, need mushrooms. I assume the mushroom grows don't change. Yeah, it's just droll. Right, let's see. Yeah, I think we'll go back to Yannick and do the critical action. But we'll also check on Bliss as well. So let's go check on Bliss. Ah, 1 more cycle. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind.